Ow! I rolled my ankle. Hi. This.
Hi guys.
Hi.
We're having a time.
This is the channel, Simplicity, TEA. If you've never been here before, hello. If you have been here before, you know how this goes. We talk about things on the internet nobody else wants to talk about, and that is definitely rings true with today's episode. Yeah, I don't even have any words to say. We're just gonna have to jump into it. So grab your mugs, bowls, teacups, bottles, things, and dive into the tea with us because there's a lot of tea.
Also, Kelly is here.
She will be talking in one part of this video, but before that, you're gonna see her with headphones on doing things.
Yeah, she's working on some stuff.
We have code names for the two people we are talking about. First, we're going to start with a lighthearted story. This is celebrity encounters, if you will. We're going to start with a lighthearted story, and this person's code name is going to be Justin. So when you hear me say Justin, I'm referring to the guy. This guy isn't really famous. He's famous adjacent. So he's related to somebody. He's related to somebody famous. Okay, got it. There we go. There. So the note is in my phone. So
famous adjacent is really funny.
Have me go here. Sorry, I had to type in the guy's real name and I realized that I can't say it. Anyway, so there are a couple things. This guy kept looking at me and walking past me when I was in the crowd.
This is at a concert.
Yeah, by the way. And he would like open the backstage door and look to see me and then close it. He would keep walking past me to the merch guy and things like that. One of the ones...
It was also a really small venue and small show, by the way, just for context. So, it was a general admission show.
I want to say this because this is the very important part. He had a lot of room to walk behind Tori and Kelly. There was a huge wide open space. I was right up against the bar for whatever reason. He decided to come behind me, did not say excuse me. He came behind me and slid behind me, kind of brushing up against my body.
Also, it wasn't like when there was an act on stage, so he could have just said it and she would have heard him.
It was just before. Yeah, right before the opener went on, he looked out, saw me, then closed the door. I don't know what that was for. So we had VIP for this person's brother, Justin's brother. And the person who I was meeting yelled at his brother for telling me that I was taking too long talking to Justin's brother. Justin was telling me I was taking too long talking to his brother. And there was a dirty look that she saw that Justin gave me.
Yeah, it was odd. I was like, okay.
And walked behind me, like I said. He pointed and was staring at me with the merch guy. So he was talking to the merch guy about me and pointing and laughing. It kind of felt like when I was being bullied in high school. Like, that was the vibe. And yeah, so we made eye contact and then he closed the door. So that's a little bit of a more lighthearted one that we have, Justin. I wanted to give you a lighthearted one before we jumped into the real meat and potatoes.
Yeah, that one was just like...
that was just odd.
Yeah, that one was just weird. We were like, what? Why?
Yeah, but I have a lot of weird celebrity experiences. So if you want to hear about more...
Yeah, we do have
let me know, because I've had a lot of weird ones with unknown people, so you know, openers and such. So this one is the meat and potatoes, and ages are very important. So I have the ages that I was at the time that these shows occurred, because that's very important to know when this started and what it led to. So this person's name, I was originally going to use a different code name, but tragic events occurred with that code name, so we changed it. I was originally going to use the name Liam, and that's not okay because tragic events happened. R.I.P. Liam Payne. Please rest in peace, you angel. But we changed it to Louis instead. So it is not Louis Tomlinson.
Yeah,
it is not. No, this person is not as famous as them.
Nowhere near.
They're kind of famous adjacent. Their two brothers are more famous than they are. So
and there's a sister, and she's arguably more famous. And
that might have just given away who it was. But anyway, point being, probably not.
No.
Point being, yes, that's who we're talking about. But we're gonna jump into it.
Also, this is the one thing, if you ask us who exactly we're talking about, we probably won't.
Oh, I won't tell you.
Just FYI, because I know we say, like, if you have questions about stuff, we'll always answer it. That's just one thing where just for our own safety and mental sanity, we're not gonna say who it is. Yeah.
So, the first time we ever saw them was March 14th, 2019.
Oh my god, that was...
I was 18, and like I said, age is very important in this story. I was 18.
Yeah.
I was 18 at this time. I met all of his family and him that was at the concert with him. So these are all concerts, just so you know. Putting that out there. I was very anxious to meet him in a good way. I was anxious to meet Louis in a good way because he was my favorite out of the group of people that was there. So I was like, oh my gosh, he's my ultimate favorite. I need to meet him. I told him he was my favorite, and he said right back, you are my favorite, back to me. I was living. I was living my best life.
Living her best life.
And after that night, I was like, how do I get to date him? That's not how 18-year-olds, that's not how that works.
Yeah, also that one, like, that experience, that wasn't bad. That was just
that
funny.
wasn't bad. That was a sweet, kind of. November 27th, 2021 was the next time. We had to wear masks for the concert, but I pulled mine down during the song so I could scream it. It was my favorite song. So, obviously, I'm not saying the name of the song, but it was my favorite song. So I pulled it down so I could scream it.
He's a singer in that song.
That literally is his song. Mm-hmm. Like, pretty much nobody else sings in that song. We didn't stay after to meet them because it was freezing cold. I was 21 years old at this point. The girls behind us were yelling sexual things and making him and me uncomfortable.
Yeah, and honestly, all three of us.
Louis was very uncomfortable. He was, like, kind of looking at me because I was in front of them for help.
Originally, I think he thought it was coming from us, and then we, like, kind of, like...
we pointed behind us, and he got it.
Yeah. Because we were, at that point, we were close to the stage, enough that he could follow along with...
He looked at me during his song that he sings. The next one is August 5th, 2022. I was 22 years old. My birthday hadn't... Yes, August. My birthday had passed. Yes, I was 22 years old. Basically, he looked at me a lot, but there's only one time I'm gonna mention. The person on stage with him introduced him, like how you introduce the members, and he looked right at me when he was introduced. So what that was is the person on stage was like, oh, and this is Louis, and everybody cheered. But Louis only looked for my reaction, and that's kind of like the theater one in Flirty Friendships, because it's like looked for my reaction over however many people were there. There were a lot of people there.
Which again, at the time...
Like, he could have looked at anybody.
Which, again, at the time wasn't necessarily weird. We were just kind of like, why? Like, it wasn't, I mean, not weird. It was not necessarily bad. Yeah. We were just kind of like, oh.
Yeah. Like I said, too many others to count. We met him after this.
We sure did.
Like we usually do. While he was meeting people, he kept looking at me while hugging other people. Like, he'd be all the way down the line, and he's just staring at me as he's getting closer. Like, just keeps staring at me. And that was something I clocked as weird. When he came to my group, he got right in front of me, leaving no room for Jesus. Like, he was right in front of me, really tall, by the way, and, like, I would not look him in the eye. I was looking at the ground the entire time. I was anxious, not in a good way this time. Like, I felt very...
She just felt like something was off.
Yeah.
And we couldn't really pinpoint what it was at the time.
He asked if I wanted a picture, and I said sure, because I didn't want to say no, but it's not like I didn't want to say no because I wanted one. I felt like I couldn't say no. Like, there's a way that people act with their body language. I was scared to say no. Like, that is something that is also not okay in any context of any situation. He then moved over to my boyfriend. My boyfriend was here. My boyfriend handed me his phone to take the picture. His phone opened on front facing, and I said, ugh, I look so ugly, as a self-deprecating joke. I make self-deprecating jokes, if you don't know. That's my humor. And I was having a really bad day because something bad had happened the day before. So I was making a self-deprecating joke to get through it. And Louis slowly looked me up and down and said not to me in the creepiest / lowest voice. I think he was hoping my boyfriend wouldn't hear. Hear this breakdown. Kelly, her, saw and heard. My boyfriend, who's not here, saw. And Tori
I like half saw. Okay, so I heard what you said because I was standing, like, it was kind of like we were in a little bit of a line. Like, I was kind of in the middle. Kelly was here, Kayla was over here, and then
Louis and my boyfriend.
Yeah, Louis and her boyfriend were kind of like in front of me
right
a little
next
bit,
to each
but
other.
kind of like parallel to me, and then also this other person, sibling, I guess I could say, was standing next to me, and I was having a conversation with that person. So I kind of half saw, half heard what happened. I heard her say when she was looking down at the phone to get to the picture and whatever. I heard her say, what?
Oh, I'm so ugly.
Oh, yeah, that. Or, like, whatever joke she made, and I just kind of looked at her like, girl, and then just, like, we laughed about it, whatever, because we know that that's how she is. So we laughed a little bit, and then I went back to my conversation, so I didn't see the whole thing, but I was there, I just didn't, like, clock it at the time that it was happening.
Kelly?
Mm-hmm. My turn?
Yes, your turn.
Well, yeah, because, like, I was standing, like, it was similar to the way that we're all sitting right now. So it's like she was here, I was here, Tori was over here, and they're, like, in front, more in front of Kayla, the way that she would be looking, like, diagonally. And so she said that, and we're all like, you know, whatever, because it's normal. And then he, like, takes his time to, like, slowly go from, like, up to down to back up, and then, like, literally does, like, like she said, in the lowest, like, strangest voice, like, borderlining on, like, warning bells, red flag type stuff, where he was just like, not to me. And it was, like, very uncomfortable, just even as someone who was, like, watching.
Yeah, this is the part that I clocked out.
Very uncomfortable to, like, hear and see.
Yeah.
Because I already know she's already uncomfortable. And that made me uncomfortable, and it's not even directed at me.
The reason I was already uncomfortable was when we got a picture, which I told you I didn't even want to get. His hand was on my lower back. And I didn't want him to touch me. I did not want to be touched. But another thing about this is the reason why I said age is important is it started when I was 18 and went to 22. We're not done yet. But we're almost done. So I'm going to let you know. We're almost done. But so that, and like I said, my boyfriend saw him look me up and down, because it wasn't like when you're flirting with someone and like if I looked at Tori, like just a quick,
Yeah.
it was a
slow motion
very slow, like, and then meeting the eyes, my face turned red. I literally shut down.
Yeah, and this is
like
the part...
I literally shut down. I couldn't remember how to work my boyfriend's phone. Like I literally could not do. I wanted him gone. I wanted him gone.
This is also the point that I didn't see. So by this point, by that time that him like looking like being creepy, I didn't see that part because I was in another conversation.
That happened
just FYI.
Right before he said what he said.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't as long, but to me, when you're in that situation, it's happening to you, it felt like it was 5 minutes. It was probably only about a minute, but it felt like it was 5 minutes because, you know, it's happening to you. Like, when it's happening to you, it's a lot more severe.
And it's also one of those things where it feels like time slows down.
Exactly. And not in a good way. Not in a good way. And like I want to get out of here type of way. So again, I disassociated and I wanted to disappear. We're going to the last date that we've seen them to date. April 23rd, 2024. I was 23 years old and very sleep deprived.
Why did I forget we went to that?
Louis looked so depressed before he found me, then he got energized after seeing me for the show. I went to the bathroom, and the way you have to go is you have to go out the door to near where the front is, and you have to go down the stairs there, and then you have to come back up and go in the door to the side that you're on, because there are 2 doors for 2 different sides. And I did an experiment, and I didn't tell her and Kelly I was doing an experiment, but I stood over on his side for 3 to 5 minutes, coming back from the bathroom, and he didn't notice me. I stood there to see if he would see me. He didn't. I was like, oh great, he's not gonna see me. This is fantastic. And so I went back over to my side. Exactly at that moment, right after I did that, one of the songs I wanted to film happened. This is where the universe plays a cruel joke on me. One of the songs I wanted to film happened. That's when he found me. You can see the moment that Louis looked up and saw me. When he saw me, I froze and felt uncomfortable. You can hear me in the video saying, go over to the other side. Looks up right as the singing starts and clocks eyes with me because I had my phone up. Oh, he was happy after that. For these, you have to take my word for it. You have to see it to believe it. Because it is a very clear difference in the, oh my God, what is it?
Cadence?
No, it's a very clear difference in the, not energy, that's not right, but it's a very clear difference from being sluggish and depressed to really happy and yay, happy-go-lucky type. For the rest of the show, he was looking at me after he found me, even from the other side of the stage that he was on. We didn't meet him after because of everything, and because I was sleep deprived, Kelly was sleep deprived. I had to get up at really 5 a.m. for classes that same day, and I had just gone to another show the night before, so I was not feeling it. But in conclusion, please be careful. Never go to shows alone, and be aware of your surroundings. A lot of famous people start doing creepy things like this. And I don't want any of you to fall victim to it. My story is not even the worst with what can happen with famous people. There are a lot of worse stories. It's not even the worst of
what has happened with this person specifically, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah. So, yeah, I want to tell this story because I know a lot of famous people are being very creepy. And it's starting to become
A lot.
A lot. And there are a lot of people that I could name that have done way worse things. And we would be here forever if I was going to name those. There's a lot of people, and yeah, people say it is mostly one specific genre. I will agree with you on that, but it is not just that genre. It is a lot of different ones. Yes, most of them do come from the rock or the harder music, like the metal genre of music. But they're
Pop
not,
punk especially.
they're not just all there. They're in pop. They're in rock. They're in rap, like EDM. They're everywhere. They're
not
in
even just
every
in music. They're in
type
every industry
of genre. I'm just saying, like for music, that's where they are. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of actors. I mean, look at Leonardo DiCaprio. But there are so many different people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was just saying the first person that popped into my head, which is he's not really, he's just creepy. Anyway, point being, there are a lot of people. There are also people on YouTube that are creepy, and so you gotta be careful, because there are a lot of people that are just going to take advantage of someone, and I don't know why these people do these things, but they do these things. And, you know, it's one of those things where I don't want any of you to get into any situations. That's why don't go to shows alone. Always go with somebody else, because...
Or at the very least meet people there.
Yeah, because it's not good for you to go alone, because creepy people, like we're talking about. And there are also just creepy people at the shows that aren't even the people performing either. There are creepy people that will be there in the crowd, so you also need to be aware of that. Because I've never really had an experience personally with someone creepy in the crowd, but so I can't really talk on that, but I know that a lot of my friends have experienced creepy people in show crowds. So just be careful about that as well. And if anything seems off about somebody in the crowd, definitely go to the security.
Yeah, tell
for
someone.
that. If it's somebody random in the crowd, please tell security. They will be on your side for that.
Yeah, they will. They can't necessarily question you either. They'll just be like, okay, and then they'll figure it out.
They'll figure out what's going on. Especially if a lot of people have something happen with this person, you can even grab them if you saw it happen to them too, and you can all go up to security together. Because more people would make security be more likely to do something.
Right.
Anyway, so again, I forgot to say this. When I was 18, there was a security guard actually working at that place that we were the first time we ever saw this group. And he was 31, and he was trying to get into me 18-year-old's pants.
Yeah, that was really crazy.
Yeah, so see, creepy people. Creepy people.
And he worked there.
Yeah. So, yeah, creepy people. Creepy people.
Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. Never mind. I was thinking. Never mind.
Okay. Creepy people. Point being.
Never mind.
Creepy people. So please just watch out. Please try not to go alone. Go with a group of friends, even if you want to go with, even if you don't feel comfortable going with your parent, an aunt, a cousin, somebody. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of like, or a guy friend. A guy friend is always a great option. If you have a guy who's a friend who's just down for any show, they're great because they're a guy. Especially if they're very tall and very strong.
If they're intimidating looking,
yes. My boyfriend is someone who is very intimidating looking, and he's really just a big teddy bear. So.
But nobody else needs to know that. It's fine.
No. But anyway, you guys will probably never meet him because he doesn't really like to be on camera ever. So sorry about that. But anyway, so
Oh, also, if you're wondering what I'm doing while I'm keeping, because you guys know I like to keep my hands busy. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, because I know I usually show you guys, I got these two like fan packs today at Barnes & Noble. I got a Taylor Swift one. I don't know if you can see it. Taylor Swift one. And then I got a One Direction one. And they came with stickers. So I've been putting stickers on my phone case and on my phone. So here, I'll show you. This is my phone case. I got this actual case is from Wildflower. This pink part right here, that little piece of confetti is from the Kelsey Ballerini concert, and then the rest is just stickers. So I did that, and then I'm gonna get a different phone case that's just clear so you can see the back of my phone, but then I have these. So yeah, just in case you're curious, because I know I show you guys every time.
And
anyway.
so, yeah, so just make sure to try to go to shows with somebody, whether it's an adult, a cousin, a friend, an intimidating guy friend, an intimidating girl friend, your partner, if you have one. Just try to go with somebody who's going to have your back. Your siblings, I don't know why I didn't say that first. Someone who's going to have your back.
Sibling, parent, if you're young specifically.
Yeah, like just someone who's going to be looking out for you and have your best interest the entire time. Because even if you meet people, they might not always have your best interest just meeting you. So definitely go with somebody who has known you for a long time and definitely does have your best interest.
And this is the same for sports as well.
Yeah, a lot. There are a lot of creepy people in basically any avenue. There are a lot of creepy people. Like at sports events, I know it's usually a lot more just the people in the crowd that can be creepy, but it could be the professional people too. We don't know. I've never been in that situation either, but you know, it's just there's a lot with that. But that's what I want to talk about today. I was basically talking about specifically the music industry because that is what my experience is the music industry. Are you okay?
I sneezed.
Oh,
bless you.
I couldn't tell what that noise was.
That was
You're good.
in the music industry was my experience. So that was a dip into the thing that I've been playing up for a long time that we were going to get to.
We got to it.
And after this, unless something were to happen in June, we're never going to touch it again. That's it. Unless something happens in June, which I really doubt it's going to.
Also, if you're wondering, I have my mouth on. If you're wondering why we went to go see them, even after the first instance, it's because we didn't necessarily put it all together until later.
I still had a crush on that person. I didn't know it was creepy until the last time with the looking up and down is when it got clear that it was creepy.
Yeah,
And
so just FYI.
And we only bought tickets this last time because we still enjoyed the music. We chose seats that were farther back.
All the way.
Harder to be seen and more affordable, to be honest. Let's be honest here. Because I was buying all 4 tickets, and that's a lot of money at the place we were going. So I wanted more affordable seats, but still have seats, so we're not sitting on the lawn outside. So there's that. And also, we were able to leave, like, right afterwards. So it's not, like, a huge thing either way. And also, we bought the tickets literal days, maybe even one day, before things started coming out on the internet.
Yeah.
That backed up her story.
She said. Yeah.
And even went into worse things.
Yeah.
So we bought the tickets before we found out that this is a consistent thing happening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go through Ticketmaster's ridiculous refund reselling policy.
Yeah.
Because that's just ridiculous.
So...
Because we still like the other people.
Yeah.
So this will be the last time that we ever talk about this specific person, unless something happens, which I really doubt it. This is the last time we're going to talk about them, so this is the last time you have to hear about them. If anything else were to happen in the realm of going to shows, I will talk about that, but I will not be talking about this. Also, if you think something looks weird with my nose, I didn't get plastic surgery or anything. This is a pimple patch. I just have a pimple on the end of my nose, and this patch won't always stay down on it, so it might look weird because it might be coming up, but yeah, so we're gonna have you go. That's not what I said. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Not we're gonna have you go.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to this long-awaited story that you guys have probably been waiting for, because I mentioned Davi Vandy and Rodney Radke to connect to the story, which kind of does, kind of doesn't. Anyway, but yes, so I will see you guys in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.